Morning children, welcome back to our history class. Today I am going to teach you chapter 6, that is conflict with the Mughals. Let us start with the introductions. So far, Shivaji Maharaj had successfully fought the Adil Shahi, but for expanding the Swaraj, conflict with the Mughals was inevitable. Means, for expanding the Swaraj, it is very difficult for the Swaraj Shivaji to be against of Mughals. Inevitable means unavoidable circumstances. The Mughal posed a great threat to the Swaraj even as it began to expand. Mughal posed a great threat to the Swaraj. Okay, now Maharaj triumphed over his great threat too. Means Maharaj made victory against this great threat too also. He regained his forts and territories from the Mughals. He took a campaign of the south. We shall learn about all these events in this chapter. Now expansion of Swaraj. How we made expansion of Swaraj in Maharashtra? Swaraj means Swaraj win over the great threat too. He regained his forts and territory from the Mughals with the great bravery and with the political plans. Okay, like this Shivaji Maharaj made an expansion of Swaraj in Mughals. From the Mughals he got the freedom. Shaista Khan invasion. In February 1660, Shaista Khan left from Ahmednagar and entered the Pune province. He ravaged the territory of the Swaraj by sending small units of his army to the neighboring areas. He encamped the Chakkan Firangozi Nasala, the leader of the fort of Chakkan, offered a strong resistance to the Shaista Khan's army. Finally, the Mughal captured the fort of Chakkan. Now here, Shaista Khan left Ahmednagar and where he entered in the Pune province. And after that he started capturing. He sent small armies of his army to the Chakkan place. At the time, the in-charge Firangoji Narsala was the leader of the Chakkan fort. He tried to make a strong resistance against the Shaista Khan's army, but finally the Mughals captured the Chakkan fort. Shaista Khan set up a camp on Lal Mahal. This is the Lal Mahal. Here, Shaista Khan set up his camp in the Lal Mahal. Shivaji Maharaj had lived in his childhood. Khan sent his forces in the regions around Pune. These forces looted the people 2 years past, but he would not think of leaving Pune. Naturally, this had an adverse effect on the people's morale. In these circumstances, Maharaj drew up a bold plan. Now here, says the Khan, what he did? He entered the Lal Mahal, and where the Shivaji Maharaj from the childhood, he has to live in the Lal Mahal. He has very well know about these places. But Shaista Khan started troubling all the peoples. He started looting the peoples and he started harassing the peoples. Now Shivaji was decided a great and bold plan how we have to make him ran away from this Pune, again rebacked and entered in the Ahmednagar. So now let us see what the bold plan Shivaji Maharaj made in this lesson. Okay children, now Maharaj bold plan say Shivaji Maharaj decided to raid Lal Mahal secretly under his leadership. On 5th April 1663, Maharaj raided Lal Mahal at night with a selected band of soldiers. In this raid, Shaista Khan lost his finger. He suffered a great humiliations. He left Pune and shifted his camp in Aurangabad. Due to this episode, he incurred displeasure of Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb transferred him to his province of Bengal. The successful attack on Shaista Khan had an impact on the people, and the faith in the capability of Maharaj was strengthened even further. Now, what Shivaji Maharaj bold plan was? Shivaji Maharaj decided to raid Lal Mahal at night, okay, under the leadership of his friends. On 5th April 1663, Maharaj raided Lal Mahal at night when there was a marriage session was going on in that place. In that, taking the advantages of this marriage session, Shivaji Maharaj and his selected soldiers entered to Shasta Khan's room, Shasta Khan's cabins, and in that Shasta Khan was alone at the time, and it who know how Shivaji entered in from the back sideline, and he took his sword and started fighting with him. At the time, he don't have any of his tools and equipment, and he tried to run away from the window to save his life. At the time, Shivaji Maharaj with his sword, he take the war. At the time, Shasta Khan lost his four fingers, and he was very fear displeasure of Aurangzeb. Then he left Aurangzeb and tried to ran away from the place. For what he was thinking, Shasta Khan, in the first attack, Shivaji Maharaj made my four fingers cut. In the second attack, he maybe cut my head. So thinking that, he shifted again to Aurangzeb shifted. Okay. Then afterward, in the Bengal province, Aurangzeb shifted him. The successful attack of Shasta Khan had made a great impact on the people. All the people who were staying near in the Pune people was very happy. Shivaji's this courageous, brave fighting and bold plan. They welcome Shivaji Maharaj, and they think like Shivaji Maharaj was God for us, because he always fought for the people. So their capability of Maharaj was strengthened even further. Okay children, now next let us go see how Shivaji Maharaj successfully attacked on Shasta Khan, and the peoples were believed Shivaji Maharaj as a great soldiers. Now next one is Surat campaign. In 3 years time, Shasta Khan had ravaged large territory of the Swaraj. Shasta Khan captured large territory of Swaraj. It was necessary to make a good this loss. For this, Shivaji Maharaj devised a plan for teaching a Mughals a lesson. Shivaji Maharaj was thinking, we have to make a great loss to these Mughals people. So he started devised a great plan to fight against the Mughals. Surat was a big trade center. You can see children in the next page. Surat was a big trade center. In this, the Dutch, the British, the French had their factories. The maximum revenue has been generated by this city for the emperor. It was a rich city. Maharaj marched on Surat. Inayat Khan, the Subedar of Surat, would not put up any resistance. Maharaj obtained plenty of wealth from Surat without bothering the common people. His campaign of Surat was completely successful. This campaign was a stunning blow to Emperor Aurangzeb's prestige. Now you can see in the next picture children, here the trade center. This is the middle is the trade center. The Dutch, the British, the Portuguese and the Mughals, they set up their factories here, and this place is called as a communication center. And Surat was very rich city. All four peoples were set up their factories, and the giving and taking process was going on. At the time, Shivaji Maharaj bold plan successfully in Surat battle. In the Surat battle, he won the Surat, and Surat was the rich place. Maharaj obtained plenty of wealth from the Surat. Okay children, now see next one is now Jai Singh invention. How the Shivaji Maharaj successfully attack on Surat and win the Surat campaign. Now next one is what was the Jai Singh. Mirza Raji Jai Singh was the brave person with a view to curbing the increasing activity of Shivaji Maharaj. Shivaji Maharaj, to stop the increasing activity of Shivaji Maharaj, Aurangzeb sent Mirza Raji Jai Singh, an experienced and powerful Rajput Sardar. Jai Singh came to Pune. He started rallying all the forces against Shivaji Maharaj to the Portuguese of Goa and Vasai, the Dutch, and the Vangurla, the British of Surat, and the Siddhis of Janjira. Jai Singh suggested that they should start a naval campaign against Maharaj. Now Jai Singh decided to make a good plan, like Shivaji Maharaj unable to move from these places. So he made awareness about the British, Dutch, French, and he took everyone's company, and afterward he decided to fight with the Shivaji Maharaj. Jai Singh drew up a plan of capturing the fort of position of Maharaj. Mughal forces were sent to various parts of the Swaraj. They ravaged the territory of the Swaraj. Maharaj endeavored to resist the Mughals. Jai Singh and Diler Khan laid siege to the fort of Purandar. When the Mughals put the fort of Purandar under siege, at the time Murarbaji Deshpande fought with the greatest courage. He died a hero's death. See children, in this, Jai Singh took a great plan and he made a siege on Purandar fort. At the time, Shivaji was inside the Purandar fort. When siege was done at the Purandar fort, he can't able to come out from the fort because huge army unable to fight against Shivaji Maharaj, can't able to fight against the Jai Singh. But outside Jai Singh started harassing the peoples who are staying outside. But in circumstances, Shivaji Maharaj was thinking what to do, how we have to come out of this great situation. At the time, Sivakashit made him understand, like, I will sacrifice my life for your battle. You have to win anyway this battle, and you have to be out of this Purandar fort. So what he did at the time, he made himself dressed as a Shivaji Maharaj, and he entered from the and he exit from the main gate. At the time, on the other hand, Shivaji Maharaj from the back entry he went to the Vishalgarh. At the time, Murarbaji Deshpande said, till you reach to the Vishalgarh and gunfire I would listen from in my ear. Till that I will not allow any of our enemy to pass away from this. So you just pass away. I will see your. Okay, like these words he given to Shivaji Maharaj, and he started fighting till he had made a serious fighting, the great courage, and he died a hero's death in this war. Like this, Sivakashit and Murarbaji sacrificed their life for the Shivaji's to win the Shiva battle. Like this, they both helped. When Shivaji Maharaj begins to talk for a treaty with the Jai Singh, because he unable to listen the Shivakasir and Murarbaji's death. He was like helpless. So he took Jai Singh against the Shivaji Maharaj. He was made a treaty against the Shivaji Maharaj, Treaty of Purandar. Considering the seriousness of the situation, Maharaj signed the Treaty of Purandar in the year June 1665. In accordance with the terms of the treaty, Maharaj gave to the Mughals 23 forts and adjoining territories and annual income of 4 lakh horns to the Mughals, and he also assured the Mughals of help against the Adil Shahi. That is, the treaty was ratified by Aurangzeb. Like this, Shivaji Maharaj signed the Treaty of Purandar and he handed over 23 forts and adjoining territory and 4 lakh horns, everything to the Mughals with the, and he also said that he will help against the Adil Shahi. Now the next one is our Agra visit and escape. How Shivaji Maharaj made the Agra visit and how he escaped from this. After the Treaty of Purandar, Jai Singh launched a campaign against the Adil Shahi, and Maharaj helped Jai Singh, but his campaign of Jai Singh was not successful. Jai Singh and Aurangzeb felt that Shivaji Maharaj ought to be kept away, at least for some time, from the Deccan politics. Jai Singh proposed to Shivaji Maharaj that he should visit Agra and meet Emperor. He guaranteed the safety of Shivaji Maharaj. Shivaji Maharaj set out for Agra. He was accompanied by Prince Sambhaji and few of his trusted people who were ready to risk their lives for him. Shivaji Maharaj then reached Agra and Aurangzeb did not treat him with due honor at his court. Maharaj gave went to his rage. The emperor then put him under house arrest. Undertated by his actions of the emperor, Maharaj devised a plan of escaping from the house arrest. He adroitly escaped from Agra. Now we will see in the next pictures how Shivaji Maharaj adroitly escaped from the Agra and reached Maharashtra safely. After few days, he reached Rajgarh. While returning from Agra, he had left Sambhaji Rajya at Mathura. Later, Prince Sambhaji was brought safely to Raigad. While Maharaj was away from Swaraj, Veer Jijamata was looking after the Swaraj and the administration. See children, here in the pictures you can see how Shivaji Maharaj made himself hide in the boxes and he made Sambhaji and Shivaji Maharaj out of this Agra. Now next picture shows that in the absence of Shivaji Maharaj at the time, Veer Jijamata took after the all the administrations run by Veer Jijamata. Now on the offense against the Mughals. After returning from Agra, Maharaj did not want any conflict with the Mughals, but he prepared comprehensive plan. He recaptured the fort and territory given to the Mughals by the Treaty of Purandar. Now next one. Now the Mughals were. He sent a well-equipped army to capture the forts. The Mughals were de-established by the Maharaj, invading the territories in Deccan under their control. He recaptured several forts such as Sinagad, Purandar, Lohagad, Mahuli, Karnala and Rohida. Maharaj attacked Surat for the second time and way back defeated Mughal Sardar Daulat Khan at Wani Dindira in Nashik district. Maharaj was successful in the offensive with the help of many Sardar against the Mughals. He captured as many as 27 forts within 4 months. In the Treaty of Purandar, he handed over Mughals to 23 forts, but within 4 months, he captured 27 forts from the Mughals. Now from this you can see fort recaptured by Shivaji Maharaj. Which fort he recaptured? Now many of the great fort he recaptured from the Mughals. Okay children, now let us see which forts he recaptured from the Mughals. Karnala, Rohida, Lohagad, Mahuli, Purandar and Sinagad. Such type of fort he captured from the Mughals. Now next one is coronation. After he recaptured from the Mughals fort, coronation took place of the Shivaji Maharaj with a view to gain general recognition to the Swaraj as a sovereign independent state. Shivaji Maharaj wanted a sovereign independent state as free from the Mughals rule. Okay, Shivaji Maharaj coronated himself on 6th June 1674 at Raigad and Gagabad formally crowned him Shivaji Maharaj and thereby he became the Chhatrapati of Swaraj. After coronation, he became the Chhatrapati of Swaraj. To celebrate the occasions, Rajabhishek Shaka, the coronation era was started, especially coins, horn of gold and shirai of copper were minted. Rajya Vyavara Harsha Kosa, showing Sanskrit alternative for Persian words, was prepared. The coronation of Shivaji Maharaj was a revolutionary event in the history of medieval period. Along with Vedic rituals, tantric rituals, coronation was performed on 27 September 1674 by Gosavi of Nishalpuri. This is the coronation of Shivaji Maharaj place when Shivaji Maharaj took his coronations. Now descriptions of Shivaji's coronations. Now, next one is dear. Now, Prince Sambhaji Raje was 17 years old at the time of the coronation of Shivaji Maharaj. It was described the coronation ceremony in the treatise like Buddha Bhushan. It is based on his own experience without meaning or counting. Plenty of money, clothes, elephants, horses were donated to the great scholars who had come to attend the coronation ceremony from different religions. The Shivaji Maharaj spread his fame in different directions. Now our next topic is like Grand Throne of Shivaji Maharaj. An extremely valuable and grand throne was made for the coronation of Shivaji Maharaj. You can see this is called as a throne of Shivaji Maharaj. There were 8 bejeweled pillars on 8 sides of the throne. This throne made of 32 mun of gold had been studded with precious jewels. This is made with the precious jewels. Okay, children, this is the how the grand throne of Shivaji Maharaj we can able to see in these pictures. Next, our topic is the campaign of South. In October 1677, Maharaj entered into treaty of friendship with Qutub Shah of Golconda. Even Bangalore, Hoskote in Karnataka, Jinji and Velur Fort in Tamil Nadu, and some territories of Adil Shah. He appointed Raghunath Narayan Hanumanta as chief administration. However, he failed to enlist cooperation of his half-brother Vyankoji, ruler of Tanjavur, in the work of Swaraj. He annexed fort of Jinji in Tamil Nadu, which proved a great importance when he had leave Maharashtra for safety reasons. Shivaji Maharaj passed away at Raigad Fort on 3rd April 1680. This is the place where Shivaji Maharaj passed away at Raigad Fort on 3rd April 1680. Even today, we can see his Samadhi, that built memorial place of Shivaji Maharaj's death place. Now children, the important events in the life of Shivaji Maharaj. In 1660, Shasta Khan invention. In 1663, raid on Lal Mahal. In 1665, Treaty of Purandar. In 1666, escape from Agra. In 1674, coronation ceremony. In 1677, South campaign of Shivaji Maharaj. And after this, so much good work he has done. In 1680, 3rd April 1680, he is passed away. The great Maharaj passed away from our country. This is the meaning of the lesson. Thank you, children. We will meet with a new lesson tomorrow.